you've actually practiced using the Google Analytics. So take a look at it, play with it, and see if there's anything that you can learn from it. But since we already have 2 people who have actually submitted their results, thank you very much. Let's take a look and see what we can understand. So this is what I saw from RV. So RV, let me see if I understood your question correctly. So you took a look at the source of this particular landing page, which is Bali area, photographer, content creator, and online marketer. So RV sorted out all the different source mediums whereby incoming traffic came. So we can see that was a total of 52 unique page views, 174 page views, and there's a distribution from direct, Google, Dropbox Paper, SendGrid, all these other sources. So RV's question is, she searched on Google with the keywords photographer job Bali, photographer Bali, Bali, photographer internship, but she couldn't find actually the page on those searches. So what actually accounts for this Google traffic? Is that correct, RV? Okay, all right. So this is where understanding how search engines work is sort of important. Now, this is where search engine, I guess, isn't exactly a science. Sometimes it's like a pseudoscience, okay? The reason why it's a pseudoscience is because you don't really have one important key component. All right, I haven't found this component yet that will tell you more. What Google doesn't tell you on Google Analytics is what was the keyword that people search for that got them to arrive at this particular page, right? So maybe the keyword that they actually search for to arrive at that page is not photographer job Bali or Bali photographer or any of these. Maybe it's something else, right, that we haven't explored yet, or something in a different combination. If you actually could watch Google's search showing, you'll see that there's such a diverse variety of possible searches that people come up with, and any combination will trigger different results. You can try this yourself, right? You can look for villa management Bali, or Bali villa management, or villa Bali management, and you'll get different results just on the word order by itself. So one could be essentially the search terms are not the search terms that are illustrated here. The second reason could be, and this is why it's could, everyone gets ranks number 9. Okay, there you go. All right, there you go, Shaylin. So hey, click on it. Click on it. Actually, here's a good, here's a good hack. If you want to get it to rank higher, what you do is you get a group of people to search for it, and whenever they see it, just click on it. If it's on number 9, click on it and spend a minute on the page and click on a few links on that as well. What that will tell Google is essentially this, right? That will tell Google that the 9th result should be the first result, because that's what people are clicking on, right? And that's how Google makes adjustments to its search algorithm. So if you see the result, be sure to just click on it, and whatever result it is, it will always get upgraded to the first result over time. Anyways, that's a little search engine hack. The other reason why, actually, this would be actually very curious. Let's prove it, right? Shaylin, are you signed in on a Chrome browser using your Bukit Vista email?
Yeah, but I did the search in like incognito.
Oh, okay. All right. You did an incognito search. Right. I think somebody wrote something about location. Google's search algorithm takes the person's, your profile as part of the search query. Okay. So your past searches, whatever you've done, doing on the internet, that is part of your search result history. So search results are personalized. We can demonstrate this right here, probably. So maybe you can all go and try searching for something like, okay, let's say we do this, Bali Villa Management, right? Okay, if I search here for Bali Villa Management, then I'll see, I'll see Bukit Vista as number 3, right? And I'll click on it, of course, because that pushes it to number 1 then. Let's see, Furkan, what happens when you search for Bali Villa Management? Oh, okay, I think Furkan is frozen. What happens when RV searches for Bali Villa Management? Number 3. Okay, click. Please click it. Yeah, every time we get a click on the 3rd result, it moves it to the 1st result. Okay. All right. Here's, oh, weird. I'm Jenna now. Okay. I'll show you this. This is pretty interesting. Number 3. Okay, so it's number 3 pretty consistently, but let me show you this. This is pretty interesting. I think if I search incognito, Bali Villa Management, let's see what I get. Okay, you see that? This is or anything. I lost. Okay, there everyone is. Okay, it's number 2 now, right? So if I change the profile, I get a different result, and I'll go ahead and click on that. And then, oh wait, it's still number 3. Sorry, it's still number 3. Okay, so this is a bad example. This is probably not the example that we want to look for. I wish I could demonstrate it to everyone. Let's look for another thing. Let's say Bali content creator internship. Okay, let's see what we get for that. No. Okay, number 9. Yeah, I think Shaylin said number 9. Mine's consistent too as well. Number 9 on recruitment. Let's go to RV. RV, what do you get if you search for those keywords? Is it also number 9 as well? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, number 9. Does everyone get number 9 or different results? Number 2, number 3? Numbers are different. Oh, okay, Ekin. What number do you see? Okay, all right, there's number 8.
For me, when I search Bali content creator internship, it doesn't even show in the first page.
Ah, okay, all right, interesting. So Ekin's result is a little bit different. Ekin, can you go to second page and see if you can find it on the second page? For everybody who saw number 8, please click on it, and we can come back tomorrow, actually, or when do we have our next? Oh, we have our scrum today, right? Oh wait, our scrum today is split. So we'll see on Friday if that changes the effect, okay? That's how you can nudge every result up a little bit higher. If you get enough of your different friends to find it and all click on it and just spend a minute on the page as you would if you were a real person, that will gradually move the ranking up. Okay, the point I'm trying to make, RV, is this, right? Everybody actually will see a different search result. So it really depends on where you are, who you are. Sometimes we'll see some location context. So search results are really difficult to actually pinpoint because everybody's search result looks a little bit different. It's not like there's a single search result for everyone here. Personalization takes that into account. Okay, so that is probably, and I say probably because once again, until we can prove it, we don't really know, right? That's probably why you see Google traffic, even though you can't find the exact thing on the first page when you search for it, right? So it could be the keywords, and it could be, depends on who you are, right? So that's that. Okay, next is to Shaylin. This is the comparison. Oh, actually, Arvi, did that answer your question?
Yes, but I would like to move on to the next point actually about wanting to maximize from the Google one, because I see that it has little gap with the first one. Yeah, with the direct one, but it has like 0 bounce rate.
Yes, correct. So the people who are finding their way onto this page are actually the people who you need to serve, right? Because they are high quality traffic. So I would think about how this is where you have to do a little bit more research if you really want to do this, right? You have to kind of look for what is a possibility. You have to come up with hypotheses. See, Google doesn't tell you what the answer is, because if they told you what the answer is, everybody would just, change their website immediately. So they kind of keep it like a guessing game. So you're gonna have to like make a hypothesis. What about this page do you want to do to make it more effective, right? One of the things you can do is maybe put a video on it, right? Like from an intern that did content marketing, or maybe a video testimonial from if there's nobody doing it, or if there's nobody who's done this role yet, then maybe a testimonial from the people who are leading the program, something like that. So anything like that, what it does is it increases the engagement time on a particular page. That by Google is seen as being a good thing. That means people are engaging with the page, they're doing these activities, and that generally means it's high quality content, and Google will upgrade that. So yeah, I think if you were to, let's say, improve the content on this page, because this page, if you really take a look at it, is actually kind of weak right now. It's a wall of text, right? And there's a video at the bottom, but it doesn't show anything, let's say, about the particular role itself. The video is a general apply for internship at Bali, at Bukit Vista. It's not specific to particular content, and it takes a while to load, and maybe some people are mobile, so maybe don't read it, right? It probably would be better if you showed a portfolio or gallery or some other type of demonstration of what kind of work this person would do, maybe some of the tools that they would actually use, all these things, right, so that they can visualize it. Remember, pictures are 1,000 words, and you don't want too many words. You would ideally want to have a bit more pictures. That could improve it, right? Your conversion rate, and also improve the chances of Google finding it. So good. Okay. All right. So yeah, definitely. That's essentially what the content team does all the time, right? They think of ways to improve the content. Okay. Next, let's go to Shaylin then. Shaylin, what did you find?
Okay, so this is actually like from the CM intern. So like I actually like go through like the past 2 weeks and see the comparison, right? So like when we see the page views numbers, it's actually increasing, but like the concern is that the bounce rate is also like increasing, which is like it kind of means
Right.
that like the targeted like audience, it may not actually be the correct audience. So like from the two periods like combined side to side, we actually had one applicant from each period, and unfortunately two of them were rejected lah. So yeah, it kind of
I
like
see. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that's actually a very strong insight, Shaylin. What I'm going to do is let's go to actually Shumen. Shumen, how much time do we have?
We have about 10 minutes each more.
Okay, analytics.
I think that this will be helpful for us. So yeah, I think we can continue.
Let's take a look at it then. Thank you, Shumen. So what I'm going to take a look at is let's go ahead and find that page that that Shaylin found, and it was called what exactly, Shaylin? Community.
Community management intern.
Okay, all right. Let's look for that community. Okay, it's not on the first 60 pages. Weird. How do I find that? Oh, right. Whenever you can't find something, make sure the dates are correct, right? So back in April 23rd, 2020, we didn't have that page. So that's probably why I couldn't find it. So I'll go to the next 30 days. Let's take a look if I can find it now. Community. Okay, there it is. Community management intern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's set up the analysis on this and see what's going on. So we're going to take a look at a 2-week period. We're going to compare the 1st to the 7th of July against the 24th to the 30th of June, right? So taking a look at these two time frames, and we'll see what we see. Okay, so these are the graphs that we see. On the secondary dimension, let's try to use our source and medium to understand where our traffic is coming from. Okay. All right. So we can see. Okay. Here's interesting, right? This could probably explain what you were saying before, Shaylin. In the previous period, on June 24th to June 30th, in June, last week of June versus first week of July, we actually had more organic traffic coming from Google, right? And in the first week of July, we had more direct traffic. So that's probably a result of our outreach, okay? And we had more Dropbox traffic. That's probably just people at Bukit Vista looking at it. And LinkedIn traffic also increased a bit. But okay, not much else, right? We had some responses in SendGrid. So this is our email campaigns. But These are not that significant. So the first thing you have to like do when you analyze is you have to figure out what's the big signal and what are small signals, okay? Big signal means like, what is the big picture? What is like, where I should spend 80% of my time looking at? And then what are the small signals? What are the things that, probably don't matter? If you were to make a guess, Shailen, on what is the big signal, where is the big signal here?
More into the direct source and then the Google organization.
Correct. Yeah, the big signals are here. The direct source is almost, this is almost, what, 6 times? Almost 6 times greater. Google search traffic is 6 times greater than Dropbox traffic, and that's already like, 6 times greater than LinkedIn traffic. These are very small players. So you don't need to worry about this. You just really need to worry about these two. All right, so you can see that your direct traffic went up, but your Google traffic went down. So therefore, your bounce rate probably went up, right? More direct means that it was maybe not targeted, people just clicking on things, and the Google traffic actually went down. Okay, actually, this looks interesting. Your Google traffic improved. Do you see that? The Google traffic actually improved over time. In the new period, you have 0% bounce rate. In the previous period, you had 25% bounce rate. So I guess it wasn't enough to offset it. So this is what makes things interesting. The overall traffic diminishes, but the quality of it actually improves. So this is actually how Google's algorithm works, if you think about it, right? They're trying to get you more of the right type of traffic, of the traffic that doesn't bounce. So this indicates that Google is finding a better fit to the people who are coming to your site. And that's indicated by the low bounce rate, which is kind of nice, okay? Shailin, what is your consideration when you set the pivot point on the dates? How do you decide what particular dates to do a week-to-week comparison?
Mainly because the number of the distribution posts as well. Because recently we do like a lot of distributions, right? Especially like PCM campaigns. And then like normally we compare the SLA per week. So like we can see if the difference is there.
Okay, perfect, very good. So yes, when you activate, let's say, a particular campaign, and for Khan, this could be actually a test. The pivot point can be set on the day where you do that mass blast out. Is Furqan here? Yeah, Furqan's here. Okay. When you blast out, let's say 20, whatever, all distribution posts at the same time, that becomes your pivot point. You can see what was the traffic and what was the condition like before, and then what was it after. And this also can be a really good practice, everyone, for distribution. So instead of distributing to, an untargeted university or an untargeted department, the more targeted you are, the more likely you're going to get result. So target one job to one particular group of no more than 30 people, okay? Then the type of bounce rate that you get is probably going to be very low. The type of engagement that you get is going to be pretty high. And over time, that will account for more benefit than, as you can see, untargeted traffic as well. Okay, so those are pretty good insights then that we can use across. Don't forget also, everybody, that we have our, oops, I keep on trying to speak. I don't know, redash is, okay, now it works. Okay, it's very temperamental. Don't forget also that there's the HR dashboard. This allows us to see internally allows us to see the applications and how much activity is happening in each particular after the Google funnel, right? So the Google funnel happens above the redash, so you can kind of see what the pre-activity is and such and such. Okay, that's pretty much it. Thank you, Shimin. Back to you.
All right, then I think to Ikin and Furqan, if I'm not wrong, I think you all didn't have the chance to attend the course. I added in the link on the discussion thread. So yeah, oh wait, I realize I'm not sharing my screen. Give me a minute. Okay. Yep, okay. Thank you, Jenna, for starting this thread. I think, yeah, like it's quite interesting for us to find out insights from there. So yeah, if you have any more, I think you can add in also. Then, okay, I think with that, let's move to some of the middle funnel sub-discussions. Okay, I think for this part, Can I just clarify, right? The last time when we spoke, I think on Monday. Yeah, so for the availability period, I've already mentioned to VD that we want to add it to Vitesh also. So Shalin, please help me add into the application form first. Yeah, before VD can help us put the data into Vitesh. The availability period of like candidates on the application form. Yeah. Shalin, is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Later I can like add it up and then I'll inform you.
Okay. Then yeah, I think just to clarify again, because previously I think in the meeting we said like 2 months to trial period, but I think it should be the onboard date instead, because from the day the entry comes into like new entry to the day the person is hired. So that period should be like at most 8 weeks. You remember like we talked about 6 weeks is the ideal. So yeah, I think that one maybe we had some confusion there. So yeah, I just wanted to like check with you, is it reasonable for us to like change to the onboard date rather than the trials period? Maybe to RV?
So changing the onboarding date rather than the trial, yeah. So in the trial, there is this one iteration, which is the project plan presentation. And if we are to postpone the onboarding, then changes are the project that is presented there cannot really be realized by the person because the situation or the problems is not relevant anymore.
Okay. So like example, what you mean is like the person do the trial like earlier than the day that he or she can onboard, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I think in the Google form, the availability period, will it be clearer if we tell them to state like the earliest date that they can like start their trial and also like the onboard. That means trial 1 week and then onboarding is like another, so like there's two fails. Would that be clearer? And that we tell them that,
I think it's better
cannot
to
have the huge gap.
yeah, I think it's better to have them know the expectation that we will start the onboarding right away after the trial.
Okay. Yeah, I think that makes sense also. Vera, do you have anything to add? Because I think it might be clearer with the timeline for trial program.
I think I agree with you. Only like ask them like the earliest that they could start. But like just heads up, like some of the applicants didn't know that we have trial program. So do you think we should like emphasize why we ask their availability? Like, you get what I mean?
Yeah, so basically in the application form to like write it clearly that we have a trial program also lah.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Okay. But we also put in the job page FAQ. Yeah, I think that's the thing about the FAQs also. I think maybe a lot of people didn't read it. I think that's where we found out the issue also about, English as a main language, but people are like not very sure about that. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, I think maybe, it's like people just don't open the FAQs. Yeah, okay. I think that's probably something we need to look at. Okay, then just to share, I think this is one example that I wrote out. So ideally, it should be like 6 weeks. Is it big enough? Okay. Yeah, so ideally, it should be 6 weeks. So 5th July, the entry comes in. On 12th July, if the person need to do like an online assessment, then 19th July week will be, to arrange the interview and also to have the interview itself and to also like whether we accept or not to move on to trial or not. Then 26th July will be the person waiting for trial because 2nd August then we have the first trial, right? Yeah. Then 11th August will be the offer. 12th August, the person can onboard. So this process take about 6 weeks. Okay, but there's another scenario where, the person already missed the 2 times trial a month. So the person has to wait for like 2 weeks for the trial to happen. So we actually like delay by 2 weeks lah. Yeah, so maximum time that the person should take to reach the higher stage should be 8 weeks. Yeah, so this is the example that I came up with. Yep. So okay, so yeah, we can confirm that we'll change the 2 months to onboard date. Yeah. Everybody okay? Can give me a thumbs up? Or y'all got anything to add on? Yep, Jane, yes.
I would actually like to keep it at 6 weeks though. The reason why is actually, yeah, I'm thinking about if we go 2 months,
We might lose the candidate, is it?
yeah, all kinds of 2 months is a really long time to hire somebody, right?
Yeah,
Think about
it is.
Ideally, it should be a day, right? You're the right person. Okay, you belong here. Ideally,
Yeah.
but I think our innovation should be striving towards a shorter hiring cycle rather than a longer hiring cycle. A longer hiring cycle has all kinds of bad things, right? Candidate can drop out. We could lose track of the candidate. And it's yeah. There's the longer it takes, the more uncertainty that happens. The more quick it happens, the more effective we are, and the more agile we are. So. Yeah, I would push for innovation that moves the cycle towards a shorter time rather than longer time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Arvi, I think you can speak first. Sorry guys, we'll extend by 5 minutes. If you need to go, please go. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So previously, Farah come up with the prioritization in the trial program. So that's why the possibility of 8 weeks is still there. But what I want to confirm, sir, is actually your expectation. So do you want us to let the candidate postpone the trial or onboarding or not?
I think we need to separate cases, right? We can't use one case for everybody, and we need to have different pathways for that. So I think we have a standard, and then we have, let's say, waiting cases, right? Reserve cases. So the standard should be 6 weeks and get shorter. But then let's say, I think a few times people did come through. Kevin Kanchana, if I'm not mistaken, was one of those, right? He wanted to postpone, and actually he arrived at some other point. I think in those cases that's fine, right? So it improves our conversion rate, right? It just happens at a different time, but that shouldn't be the standard. That should be more of like an exception case, right? The standard should be we aim for this, and if there's exceptions, then okay, they go into the waiting list, so to speak. Okay, and we count that as an extra benefit, not as actually part of the main program. It's just okay. Otherwise, that would have counted as a loss if we said, okay, all right, Kevin, you can't do this. You have to show up at this time. Okay, well then, when we have a lower win-loss ratio in that, right? But we don't change the standard. We just create that little kind of waiting list, and that I think settles it. Does that solve the issue, RV, or does it still create more problems?
That actually the case that the consideration that we make for still using postponement. So we're looking for making a rule that the postponement cannot be too long, sir. So that was our consideration.
I see.
If we don't really give them the freedom to postpone, then it's higher probability is they drop out right away, because some people search for the internship like way before the period of their availability.
Yep. I think it's okay to postpone, right? That part is okay, but that is not the main policy. Once again, right? The main policy is we try to aim for 6 weeks, but then we take that as, let's say, we take that just as a bonus, right? That's the way I would see it. If somebody we like you said, otherwise that person would have been a dropout or a loss. Okay, so we say, all right, that's not in the main thread, but we give you the time to do it. But we're not going to shift our standards to say that now it's 8 weeks or 10 weeks, or if a person plans a year ahead, then we're going to have a 52-week lead time. So we keep our standard here, but we allow for, let's say, this to I think it's okay. It's pretty reasonable if somebody wants to start early, but we shouldn't be waiting. Let's just put it that way for anybody.
So we have the standard and we have what you call the bonus.
Yeah.
So the last question that I want to ask is, should we limit the bonus? I mean, limit the time for the bonus.
Oh, I don't think so necessarily, right? If somebody wants to prepare really ahead for their internship and start their process 6 weeks or 6 months ahead, that's fine, right? Like I think in that context, it's okay. Think of it this way. If a person needs that bonus time, I would consider for the current batch that person is a 0, right? But it's kind of like an investment for the future. So like that person 6 months or whatever number of months later reduces your quota for the next group, if that makes sense. So you're sort of like, for this current group you're trying to fill, it's a 0 because they're not coming, right? But then it allows you to build up a reservoir all throughout the rest of the year for people who will arrive. So then that's actually a great thing, RV, because then you don't have to panic like, oh, we need to hire 6 people. Oh, wait, I just remembered there's 2 people who are coming, right? I only need to hire 4 now. So I think that can be done. You can have infinite amount of bonuses. If you want to intern 2 years from now, that might be actually great, right? A lot of our interns are in their 2nd year. If they want to intern again, like their final year, that's fine, right? You can postpone it 2 years. That will, then we have extra people like 2 years from now. So I think that's okay. You can have infinite amount of space into the future, so that work isn't, you don't need to redo that work again. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so in conclusion, I will add in the availability period into the application form, and then ideally we'll still try to stick to the 6 weeks, and only in special cases like, if they want to postpone or they are early in their application, then we will not count this as like part of the 6 weeks lah. Yep. Okay. Anyone else have anything to add on before we end today's meeting? No, all's good. If postpones were not a thing, I wouldn't be here now.
Who is that?
Iken.
Oh, Iken. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Great. All right, then. I'll see